Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. Today's video features the Bolton Bomber again, this time showing us how to improve your punching and your striking on a bag. Now most dojos will have a heavy bag or some form of punch bag, but quite often people are just left to kind of work out how to use it themselves, and it's quite easy to damage or hurt yourself using the bag incorrectly. So in this short little video, Mark just goes through correct mechanics, how to use the bag properly, how to spot the bag, and to give some good solid tips to people, especially if you're new to striking. I hope you enjoy the video. If you do, smash the like button, consider subscribing, and have fun.
Okay, one of the best tools you can use for getting your technique right with your punches and your kicks is the bag. At home I have a standing bag. It's weighted at the bottom. It's a lot easier. You don't need someone to spot your bag for you. Otherwise, with these kind of bags, you end up waiting for the thing to come back. As I explained in one of the earlier videos, your elbows should always stay in. If your elbows are coming up, you've got a tendency to come across the bag. You're going to be grazing your knuckles. It also slows your punches down and you lose the power. So your punches should come directly up with your elbows in. Right. And your cross, same again, comes straight up. You're always aiming for those top two knuckles on the bag. If you start hitting with those, you'll end up with grazes. If you hit somebody and you hit body with that, you'll break those bones. Dead easy to do. I've done it hundreds of times. So, as I explained before, do your punch. Your hand always comes back like you're answering the telephone. 1, 2. If you're kicking the bag, never kick the bottom of the bag, obviously. Most bags are weighted at the bottom with a lot of sand in. This is a medium bag, it's not too heavy, but if you're kicking a heavy bag and you kick it from the bottom, you're going to break your foot. It's not pleasant, so I'll come up with that. You're going for the chamber. As I said when I was teaching kicking earlier on, you're twisting on the ball of your foot, that leg's coming up the chamber and snapping it out. Elbows are a good one on the back. Same with the elbows. You're sliding in with the elbows so you can get close up to it. If you're going from here, you're going to miss. If this was in the street and you miss, you're going to get filled in. Happened to me before when I was younger. But sliding with that, elbow goes straight in. When you're doing an elbow, the other hand always comes up to protect your face. My old sensei taught me, have it up here next to your nose. That way, if they're going to elbow you back, you've got your face protected with that. Little back elbow, hit with that, turn around, coming across with the back elbow. Lots of good techniques you can do, just need a bag. Okay, so there's various ways I've been taught in the past on how to spot a bag. What Duncan Sensei is doing here is exactly what I would do. You have your one foot under the bag, your other foot is behind, so you've got your stability, elbows in, so you can take a little bit of that, keep it away from you. Always have your elbows in, never have your hands round near the front, keep them behind so you can control that bag, your elbows in. If your hands were round the side and I was to do a kick, I'm going to break his wrist. A lot of boxers I've seen before as well, they hold it like that. That's okay if you're going for the heavy punches. I wouldn't use this for MMA, doing kicks and elbows as well. Too much can go wrong. So as I said, 1 foot underneath, lock your elbows in, and you've got that nice and steady. Same again, go from conventional stance, hands answer the telephone, answer the telephone, chamber up. Job's a good one. So if we break this down a little bit more, everything comes from a spiral and you're coming up from the ground. If you're trying to hit and you're just using your hands, there's no power in that. You're going to get filled in basically. So your jab, you're coming up from there and you're spiraling it up from the ground. And that's snapping that out from there. Straight back, answer the telephone, because if you Leave that out there, somebody's going to come out over the top, throw you in. Elbows always in, you're snapping it out. You've got to keep your wrists nice and straight, pushed that way a little bit. Like I said, you're going to break those two knuckles. This is a canvas bag. If you're not wearing mitts, which I barely do, if your elbows come up, you're going to glance across there. You'll pretty soon take all the skin off your knuckles. And then it stops you training when your knuckles are bleeding. So, answer the telephone, step through. With your cross punch, same again, you're stepping through, you see the orbital move, because that's coming from my hip. You'll see my back heel comes up, because I'm twisting it up and the power's coming from there. And it's like a golf swing where that comes right at the end. It's like a slingshot, if you will. Same as if you're doing a golfing driver. Always try and keep your elbows in. Always keep your hands straight. Always try and bring it up from the ground. This is the same with your elbow strikes. They should be coming up from there as well. If you notice where my foot ends up, I've launched that up through the whole of my body. And you should be landing that point of your elbow right on the target that you're aiming for. As I said, when you're doing the strike, a little shuffle in, so you've made that space. The last thing you want to do is be missing with one of those. One, you're off balance. Two, you're open for getting filled in. So slide in, and you will see where my hand comes up there, and that's to protect if they want to come back in with another elbow. So that's stopping you from taking another elbow from there. Now, knee strikes. With a knee strike, you're always trying to get the knee that's away from you to strike up on that. If you're trying to strike up with that front knee, there's no power. So if you're in that position, I've no power. So little skip, got into control. As you're doing your knee, pull the bag towards you, so you're creating a compression. Okay, again slowly. Yeah, so for a hook punch, you have body hooks, you have hooks to the head. Same again, it's all through the hip. Avoid twisting your hand again. There again, you're going to break your knuckle. You've got to keep your hand nice and stiff. Your thumb's got to be tucked in. If you hit with your thumb, you can break your thumb as well there. So body hook, straight round, straight back. Once you've done that, you snap it back, snap it in and out. Don't chamber it, don't do that, because you're telegraphing what you're going to do. So try to come up from here and round to the floating rib. Head hook, going around the side. Same again, twisting from the hip, landing that through there. Keep your hand nice and straight. Also uppercuts. Your uppercuts coming up from there, and snapping them out, and straight back in. Don't telegraph them coming up from there. Should be basically coming from here. Trying to get under the chin or under the solar plexus.